Back for another night, Smoke and Mirrors. I'm Jay Weidner, and you're listening to the show that's on every Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 on Pacific Time, 9 to 10 in the East. Last night we kind of got into some of the problems that we're facing in the world, and thought that maybe tonight we would try to talk about some of the things that we can do that will help us get through the coming crisis, which is not really coming, it's actually here now. And so I brought on my friend Pedram, and I've been regretting this tonight because for the first time in public I'm going to have to pronounce your last name, and I believe it's Shojai. Is that right?
Pretty close. Shojai. I think you did it just as well as anyone on the first time can. So.
I've known Pedram for a long time, but I've never pronounced his name in public. So anyway, Pedram is a doctor. He's also a great qigong teacher, and he's got a great new series coming out from Sacred Mysteries on qigong called The Alchemy of Qigong, and it's probably one of the most polished productions ever in this kind of genre, I would say. Wouldn't you say that, Pedram?
What do we call it? The Gone with the Wind of Qigong? Or
no, Qigong with the Wind. Qigong with the Wind.
It's
Gone with the Wind.
Yeah. And most of it was Qigong in the Wind. It was filmed in Big Sur, California, over the bluffs, looking out over the ocean. It was fantastic. It was a beautiful place to practice any kind of yoga.
That's right. And so, one of the things that we're trying to do with this radio show is to try to present a way out of the mess that the world is in right now. And I don't think there's anyone doubting that the world's in this huge mess. But what do you do about it? And that's really the question. And that's why what you're doing, what you're talking about, interests me so much, because I think that the healthcare system is about to collapse. It's completely the opposite. I think even if the government comes in and does whatever it is that they think they're going to do, I still think it's going to collapse. And I think the system is going to collapse, and they're trying their best to kind of keep it stitched together, but I'm not sure that it's working. So what do we do, right? I mean, here we are, we're out in the middle of wherever it is that we live, and we don't have very good health insurance because there isn't really any good health insurance anymore. And or the government comes in and gives us something that's probably even worse than what we already got. And so we have to take care of ourselves now. And that's really what's so important about the next 20 years. I think there's going to be a shift from this reliance on centralized systems of healthcare to really a more holistic way of life, and closer to the earth, closer to the food that you're eating, etc. And I think that's what draws me to what you're doing, Pedram, is it's this idea that a guy can take care of himself by doing these simple exercises. And people say, oh yeah, sure, I've seen people doing Tai Chi and Qigong, and they're not really doing anything. And it's like, no, that's not true. They're really doing something, and it's really hard. And but that's right. So that's why I want you to talk about this, and I want you to start at the beginning. Where did this come from?
Well, we were sitting with my grandmaster, who's a 93-year-old Chinese man, and I asked him at the time where this came from, and he smirked, and I had to lean over and find out why he's smirking, because one of the other senior students had asked about a decade ago, and the answer that came out of his mouth blew everyone's mind. This gentleman who didn't have a hippie bone in his body simply said Atlantis. And so it really dated this material, because we can say it goes back 5,000 years in China, but he said as long as his master's masters can recall, this knowledge was absolutely complete when it was transmitted down, and has been watered down since. It's been preserved within the monastery systems that he grew up in, and under the lineage within which I trained for a number of years. So the long answer to a short question is thousands and thousands of years, Jay. These arts have been the ancient system of cultivation that have been handed down. Not so much, you're talking about how the healthcare system has, been failing, and we are looking at the imminent collapse of a centralized system. I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, the better living through chemistry generation is starting to realize that all this chemistry is killing them. And so with all the drug interactions and all of the resistant antibacterial strains and all these things that we're running into now, health insurance isn't really insuring much. And, we talked about this before. It's time for some health assurance. And what does that mean? It means that we need to do what we need to do to enable our bodies to defend themselves, to give ourselves the health and vitality we need through proven exercises and proven lineages that will help the body's natural energetic array, our natural defense systems, to come online and to help offset any disease processes or metabolic processes that put us back on our heels. That's when we get sick. That's when we get compromised.
And so this system is it's called the Shaolin system, right? That your particular practice is called. Is that right?
Well, there are a number of them. We actually, when we did three series set here, the first health practices DVD includes some Buddhist practice, some medical qigong, some Taoist practice, and some meditations that come from a Taoist-inspired lineage. The Shaolin system that we've been teaching in the second and the third DVDs is an important one because the Shaolin system has remained intact, and there's pieces of it after the Cultural Revolution that have really successfully made it over to the West, and the esoteric teachings have been held in close-knit circles, and it's time for them to come out. Shaolin is the esoteric form of moving Zen, the Buddhist practice that was taught by the Bodhidharma, or Damo, who's the first patriarch of the Chan tradition, which is the Zen tradition in Japan. And this system enables the body-mind to come together so that there's an energetic cohesion, and the willpower and the attention of the practitioner come together so that they have the personal power to be able to do the things that they want to do in their lives. My primary lineage is a Dao Tan Pai, or a Taoist lineage, which is more esoteric and more alchemical, basically has been forbidden to be taught in video format, so that's a private transmission-only lineage. But once you get to that level, you already know the answers. You can already start to discover things inside yourself once you understand the way the energy flows. So the Shaolin practice is absolutely critical in learning how to run the energy currents and learning how to balance the energy currents within the body so that we can actually understand where we start and where we end, and realize that all these things are just based on perception. Having an energetic awareness of the body-mind is what starts to create the space for us to actually evolve and grow, and frankly, to stop devolving in the case of modernity.